Love conquers all. Every cloud has a silver lining. Faith can move mountains. Love will always find a way. Everything happens for a reason. Where there's life, there's hope. Oh, well. They gotta tell you something.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Film Bros Podcast. My name is Isaiah Lucas, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Abraham.
And Nick.
How you guys doing tonight?
I'm tired.
Tired. I'm depressed.
You're depressed.
After watching this movie?
After watching this movie.
I don't understand
depraved.
how, though.
It's human depravity to a T.
Yeah, at its finest.
It's crazy how...
It's definitely what the title is.
I was low-key satisfied with the ending.
Oh, you were? Well,
Yes.
yeah. We can
I
get
wasn't
into that.
sad. There wasn't a moment in this movie that I was sad.
You're a cold-hearted man. That's why.
No, we'll get into it. How are you? You need to say how you are.
I'm doing good. I mean, after watching this movie again, I immediately was just blown away by the performances again. Just the same way it was the first time I watched it. But I was actually also really excited to hear what you guys have to say about it, because after I watched it again, I was like, man, like... there's just so much to unpack, like with this movie, man. So I'm ready to dive in a little bit. It's gonna be I feel like a very heavy episode.
It will be, yeah.
Because we're talking about straight up serial killers that like were a thing in actual history.
Yeah, this is based off a true story.
I want to say it's not. This movie's 90% based off a true story.
Yeah.
And then with a little bit of dramatization.
Yeah. There's dramatization.
There has to be, obviously.
with any film that's based on a true story.
But I want to say it's like 90% factual.
Yeah. So another interesting thing about this, first off, if you haven't been able to tell, movie we're talking about based on the title is Monster. It came out in 2003. It was written and directed by Patty Jenkins. And it also stars Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci, I believe, or Ritchie. Not sure how you say her last name. I just know her as Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family movies. But this movie essentially follows the story of the real-life serial killer named Eileen Wuornos. Mm-hmm. And if I am not mistaken, I think she was an active killer around, I believe that, early 90s or around that time, possibly?
I think it was...
But...
1989 to 1990.
Okay. So from around that time, she was a known prostitute as well as a serial killer. Mm-hmm. And what she would do is she would lure men in with her services and then kill them and rob them. And I believe she did to a total of 7 people. And the first time that I ever caught wind of this person was because of Bailey Sarian.
Really?
Yes. And I had found out about her because of Alexa, because she was watching one of her videos, and she put this on. And of course, Alexa is like a crime junkie type person. So when she starts going on about this person, I was like, I have no idea. I've never even heard of this person. I don't know who this is. And she starts, being like, oh, she used to do this, 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 and this. And then we watched Bailey Sarian's video on YouTube about her. And so I got all this background knowledge about her, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty wild. It's crazy. You don't hear much about woman serial killers or serial killers that are women. And whenever I had found out that there was a movie based on her life, that came, I want to say maybe a year later, because I had just started following all these cinema pages on Instagram, and one of them
the transformation.
Yeah, they started talking about, well, first off, they just posted a photo of Charlize Theron as Eileen. And when I saw it, I was like, they said that was Charlize Theron. And I immediately was like,
no,
the girl from Hancock?
Yeah.
The
wife.
The blonde chick on Hancock? That's her?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Insane.
If you couldn't tell.
And I went and looked up the movie afterward, and then I saw Christina Ricci was in it, and all this stuff. I was just like, this is pretty insane. How have I never heard of this?
Yeah.
Like, and you know, I also like when I mention this movie to a lot of people, the only people that I think really know about it are like people that are my parents' age, who like were around, you know, a little older whenever it was out.
Probably when it was like in the news. And
exactly.
More relevant.
Yeah, and so like when I bring it up to people who are closer to our age, people are like, "What is that, Monsters Inc.?" like, what do you mean monster? I don't know what that is. So I end up showing it to these people, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty wild. Charlize Theron's performance, blah blah blah. And I feel like this movie might be a little underrated.
I think this movie is very underrated.
A little underrated for the time that it came out, I would say. And you know,
what it came out in 2003.
Yes, and I don't know. Like a lot of people don't talk about Charlize Theron and like her acting chops. But this movie definitely showcases them, I think.
Solidifies her as one of the greats, honestly.
Yeah. But so I had heard about this on that film page, and then I was like, oh man, I want to check that out one time. And then one day, I believe Alexa and I were scrolling around on Netflix a Saturday morning, and every Saturday morning we try to watch one movie. Like every weekend we try to dedicate to watch a movie together that we have not seen. And we were scrolling around on Netflix, I saw that, and I was like, oh, I've been wanting to watch this. So I put it on my list, and then we were debating on 3 different movies that morning, and we were like, which one do we want to watch? And she was drawn to Monster. So we ended up watching that one, and then by the end of it, I think the next day, I went and talked to Nick, and I was like, dude, have you heard of this movie?
It's like, no.
This woman's performance is insane. Like, it's like...
There's a lot of movies that came out in 2003, though. The Room.
Oh.
Dude, 2003.
Dude.
Okay, but The Last Samurai, Elf, Hulk,
Rest
School
in peace,
of Rock,
James Caan.
Finding Nemo, Memories of Murder,
Yeah.
Kill Bill. The biggest one is Pirates of the Caribbean and Lord of the Rings.
Dude, man, so I remember seeing Pirates of the Caribbean when I was a kid. I remember going to Manchester Theater because I lived in Fresno at the time. And I went and watched it with my dad. It was just me, my dad, and my little brother, Caden. And we went and watched it together. And I remember thinking it was the coolest thing because my mom
I've never
didn't
seen him.
It was like a guy's thing.
And I was like, oh, boys' night out.
Yeah.
And I went with my dad to go watch Pirates.
You know what? We should talk about that series because they really horribly managed the end.
Dude.
The last few of them sucked.
Yeah.
I've never seen them.
The first one,
You've
dude.
never
The
seen
first
them?
one is
The
great.
first one is awesome.
It's incredible.
The second one?
Is that the one with Davy Jones or is the first one with Davy
the second
Jones?
one's with Davy Jones.
Only reason you should watch that is for the amazing CGI.
Yeah.
The CGI of his tentacles moving around is incredible.
And that one scene where he's like, I got a jar of dirt.
Yeah.
I got a jar of dirt.
Is that the one where he's like, where's the rum gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the first one.
Is that the first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He gets
I've
stranded
never
on the
seen it.
island.
Yep. And all the people are running
and he's
out
all,
from
why is the rum gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seriously need to watch them.
Yeah.
I remember really liking the third one, too, but I haven't watched it in a long time.
Dead Man's Chest is the third?
That's the second. And the third one is like At World's End or something like that.
Oh, yeah. And I remember they have to do that like...
Yeah, like around in the Maelstrom.
Oh, don't they also have to they have to capsize their ship and go upside down?
Yes.
I remember that too.
I remember really liking that one.
Okay.
And then I remember the fourth one came out, and it had to do with like Will Turner wasn't in it anymore. Keira Knightley wasn't in it anymore. It had to do with like mermaids, and they were introducing new characters. I remember my parents wanted to go see it in theater, so we went. And I remember walking out of it and being like, that sucked. It was just such a, like lackluster. And then I didn't even watch the newest one that came out.
It had, I can't remember his name.
The newest one?
It had to do with something about a trident and
This
being
one?
able to control the seas or something like that.
It
was Dead Men Tell No Tales. I think it was what it was.
That's the fifth one, and the last one
it's
is
gotten the Fast and
Tales
Furious
of Code
treatment.
Wedlock.
No, I don't think that one's coming out yet.
Oh, is that a new one?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, there's no year on here.
It's gotten the Fast and Furious treatment.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, where is this even going anymore? Yeah.
But I don't know.
With that all to say, that gives you a little bit of background information as to how old this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was really excited to see what you guys thought about it. You guys obviously don't, or at least I'm assuming, don't have any history with the knowledge of Eileen Wuornos. Correct?
No, I didn't. So I remember I was going to watch this movie with you and Alexa. And I think I decided to go thrifting or something. And then I came back home and you were like, bro, you missed you were telling me like you missed such a good movie. I know you would have liked it. So then but I never just watched it.
Mm.
And then with Bailey Sarian's episode, I listened to that and I was like, oh, okay, like I get what you're talking about. And then now watching this movie, I'm like,
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
You guys have way more info than I do. I have nothing, and it's interesting because usually when we end, like usually when I watch a movie and it ends with like some real, like this was real life.
Yeah.
I want to dive deep into it and research it. But after I watched this, I was like, I just want to leave this one unknown.
I'm depressed.
I'm depressed. Like I felt, and I also felt like the movie did a really good job at like introducing her and also showing the end of that, life.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I don't really need to see more of it. And I didn't want to. I was like, this is, oh gosh, this is so depressing. Like I don't want to hear more about her troubled childhood and what led her to do the things she did. And it just, the movie already dived deep enough into all that. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, most
So
definitely.
I'd be interesting if there was stuff that was true that didn't end up in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's dive into a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this movie is streaming on Netflix. It's also streaming on a ton of other platforms. I had heard. It's also, I think it was on like Tubi for free, as well as this new platform called Freevee.
Freevee?
Yeah, there's also a couple of other platforms it's streaming on. I think the full movie is straight up uploaded on YouTube
Oh, is
for
it?
free, like that you can watch.
No, I wouldn't
So-
think that. You said that about
It was on there for La Hen.
No, we
You
said
said
that about
that?
Dead Poet Society.
You said that about Dead Poet
No,
Society. The
that's
next
the-
day,
That's the
it was
thing.
gone.
No, that's the thing is that this one is like uploaded by a person. It's
Ah,
not like
okay.
you can rent it on
Oh,
YouTube.
okay,
Like
yeah.
it's like somebody stripped it and uploaded it just like they did with La Hen.
Okay.
But yeah. So if you want to go check this movie out, go do so. It's free on a lot of platforms. If it's something that intrigues you, by all means, go do so. Go check it out. If you want to avoid spoilers or save the episode for a different time, pause it, come back and see what we have to say about it. So
yeah.
we'll go ahead and start off with favorite scene. And I want to preface this by saying after rewatching this movie, I really only found that I maybe had like one favorite scene.
I think it's super hard to even put a favorite scene because of what happens.
Yeah, so I really only found myself having one favorite scene, and then the rest of them are all bro moments.
Yeah,
I
me too.
counted my bro moments. I have 22.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I mean, and this is the other thing too. I also want to preface this by saying that when I come back to a movie and I watch it again and I'm like, oh, this is what I loved and all this stuff. I really only found myself being like, I just wanted to rewatch this again because of Charlize Theron's performance,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily because of how like memorable the movie was or like there was anything else that was really like pulling me back in.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I think of a movie like, let's like say a super memorable movie like Shawshank Redemption, perfect. Like I can name off like, oh, my favorite scenes are this, and this.
Yeah.
I love when this happens and all this stuff. With this movie, because of the content and I think just also sort of maybe kind of how lackluster a couple of things are in this film, I sort of lose that and I'm just like, oh man, but the rest of the stuff that happens in this movie is just crazy.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be enough to call it a favorite scene.
Yeah. I get you.
Does that make sense? Am I
No, it
articulating
makes
that
sense.
correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt the exact same way.
Because I think you said you only have like one or two favorite scenes.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we had talked about it, and I thought of another one that I wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
because I have down 4, but it's just something that's just like I was like, wow, like that
Okay.
just like was a bunch to handle,
Yeah.
and that's why I put it down.
Okay. Well, my first and only favorite scene is the roller rink.
That's my first one.
This is my
That's
first
my
one. as well.
first one.
I love it.
Okay. So I really enjoyed the roller rink scene. I think it's a really nice way to show the relationship building between these almost two strangers. Like
Yeah.
They straight up meet at a bar and they have this rough start where they're like, listen, just because you buy me beer, I'm not gonna sleep with you and like all this
Throwing
stuff.
the nuts everywhere.
Yeah, and like acting erratic and crazy, but this character Selby, is just so enthralled by this person and like the complete, she's the complete polar opposite of everything that Selby has been raised up to be, right? She
Yeah.
grew up in this like Christian household and was very sheltered and not allowed to see much of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever she meets this person who's the complete opposite of everything she was
She's
raised
like,
as, she's like attracted immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I like
Opposites
this
attract.
exactly. And I really like just the initial relationship building in this scene where you can just see that Selby is like totally enthralled with her and she's I want to believe that she's enthralled with her just because of like the taboo of the situation, where she's just like, oh, I'm doing something bad, you know.
My
and
dad
like,
told me no.
Yeah,
I'm leaving soon. Ooh.
Yeah, you know. So she's like, she wants.
Dabble.
It almost feels like she's like, I want to have a story, you know, like when I get back to tell people or something, you know. And I also have to say, dude, like when I'm watching this scene and I'm trying to keep telling myself, this is Charlize Theron on screen. She completely disappears, and I'm like, I'm watching Eileen Wuornos.
No,
like,
this is a complete different person.
I'm watching the serial killer like live and in person. It feels like, and like it's just insane from the way like she decides to move her body, like to the behavior she emotes, her line delivery, like facial acting, certain little like jitters and stuff and everything. You're like, this feels like somebody like pulled somebody off the street and we're like, hey, we're going to tell you to say certain things, just do it. And then they'll just like film their genuine reactions. And, this is what they came up with.
Yeah.
I also thought it was really funny too, whenever they go out into the roller rink and, Selby's originally kind of scared to go out there. And she's like, people can't see us do this stuff. It's taboo, right? We don't want people to see us kissing and all this crap.
Well, especially because the people who Selby's staying with, there's the boy.
Yes.
Who's there is at the roller rink as well.
Yes. And
so that's one reason
tattletale
why.
too.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
a big tattletale.
So and I thought it was super funny too, the scene, because they're like, skating around, having a good old time. And then you hear Don't Stop Believing in the background.
Oh, I love this song. I almost texted you guys this saying, Don't Stop Believing has a new meaning to me now.
Oh,
yeah, and I thought it was funny too, because this feels so genuine to like, I don't know, just this whole environment that gets built. It feels so genuine to like the South, and like going to a roller rink, hearing the song, and then being like, "Oh, I love this song." Oh yeah, come on, dance with me on the roller rink.
Yeah.
And they're wearing like jean cutoffs and like these like sleeveless cutoff shirts and all this stuff, and it everything about it just like is to the T perfect.
Yeah. Old school.
And I also think it's super funny, like when they actually go to kiss. And you just hear the guitar solo just going, just going insane.
Yeah.
And, they finally kiss and everybody's kind of like looking around. And then they straight up like...
They're macking.
Yeah, afterwards they go
outside.
outside.
They go
right on the outside of the entrance.
They like go out of the roller rink and are just sucking face. Just going in outside the roller rink.
Don't ever say sucking face again.
It's what they were doing.
That's what they were doing.
Oh, dude.
Like they're going in.
They were, if no one was there to look at them, they probably would have gone farther than just kissing. Honestly.
Yeah.
It was like
she straight up said, there's a lawn over there.
There's a lawn. Like right in the public. Risque.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's the last kiss they were going to get. That's why.
Yeah. And I thought it was
At
insanely...
least they acted like it.
Yeah. I thought it was insanely funny, too, whenever Selby kind of calls Eileen out. And she was... Whenever they...
didn't like girls.
Yeah. Whenever she initially talks to her, she's like, listen, I'm not gay, all this stuff. And then, next day, they're straight up making out, like about to...
Do you think it's because Lee was like, this is something that she's never done?
Well,
I don't think so.
No, she kind of explains it when she asks her that question, like, oh, I thought you didn't like girls. She says, well, to be honest, I don't like anybody.
Yeah, but I like you.
But I like you. And, one of the favorite scenes I wanted to talk about was just the introduction to Eileen's character and her kind of being under that bridge that where all the cars go over, and her just sitting there with a gun. And we get this narration of her talking about, like, yeah, I'm going to end it today, but, I got this last $5, so I'm going to use this last $5, and then once the 5 is gone, then I'm gone as well.
Yeah.
So we get this, like, absolutely rock-bottom lady just, she's going to off herself soon.
Yeah.
If nothing happens, soon she's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And then she meets Sel, and it almost gets you to, like, believe that she would be kind of addicted to her.
Yeah.
Because her whole life had been crap, and it was finally someone treating her like a human.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'm going to cling to this person as much as possible.
Exactly.
If it's a boy, if it's a girl, who cares? This person is showing me some decency, some love.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do whatever it takes. So I'm going to, and I feel like that's where that passion comes from, of like just macking with each other.
Yeah. I had heard somebody online say that this is just the Florida version of Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Dude.
They have the same passion. They do.
The Florida version.
Because she was leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was dying laughing whenever I saw that.
Gosh.
I hate you for
Florida.
saying that because we make fun of Florida so much.
Florida man.
Yeah, the Florida man.
Florida man.
Hey, we live next to the Florida of California, which is Fresno.
Fresno, yeah.
So
We have no room to talk on.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a great scene. It really sets up the movie
Yeah.
exactly how it's going to be. These two madly in love and what they're willing to do to show it. Or
Yeah.
what one is willing to do, I guess.
Exactly.
Alright. My next favorite scene, it's kind of bad because it's also a big bro moment, and it's when she does the first murder.
Mm.
Oh, okay. That's just a huge bro moment.
It's a huge bro moment, but I also I was happy. I was like glad she killed him
Okay.
because
See, and I felt the same, right? Because
at that point, but the rest of the killings, no, dude.
okay.
No.
I was looking at
Because-
serial killer over here.
Shut up.
No, I'm just
He's
kidding.
like, I'm glad someone died.
Yeah, this is great. In fact, let's go recreate this. Hey, businessman, business opportunity.
Chickens, right?
Time is money.
But behind this is basically this guy was about to SA her,
Yes.
and
Not just essay, like
Well-
R word.
yes, R word, and because he ends up hitting her, knocking her out,
Yes.
and she barely wakes up, and he's obviously hurting her. He's hurt,
He's tied her up.
Tied her
He
up. He's
has-
taking advantage of
In
her,
a
fully
very,
taking
like-
advantage of her
Gosh,
In
a
a very-
horrible position.
yeah,
It's just
it's
in a hostile position, almost like he was gonna kill her
yeah,
because he put a tarp down, he put
yeah.
everything down.
yeah. That's not. It was not a good sight to see.
And-
This is some of the. This it felt so genuinely real that I was like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
this is like this needs to be like rated X. Right
Yeah,
here, 'cause
and-
I don't.
This is one of the scenes where I put it in such a big bro moment because
oh, this is
for me it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm thinking specifically of
that one
part.
spot. Yeah,
and we all know what I'm talking about.
yeah. You
The-
seen
the
it,
part.
you'll know what-
Part.
As soon as I had seen that, even the second time, the first time I immediately was just like, oh my god,
It's just unbelievable.
But even
like,
the second time, it still hit the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my goodness, dude, I
so
couldn't
and
even
I
imagine.
the reason why it's my favorite part is because you see her struggling, you see her basically being there to die because
Yes.
that's what he's doing,
Yeah.
and she finally gets a hold of
She
herself
gets
and gets
loose.
out,
Yeah.
and she has a gun in her
Let's
purse.
go. Let's go.
And grabs and shoots him. And when he shoots him, I said, "Heck yeah, dude!
Yeah.
Like you deserve it." And I put it in my notes. Like even though she's doing bad, we know she's doing bad.
Yeah.
Whatever she's a sexy accountant. She's breaking the law and he's
Yeah.
breaking the law. I was like, good. Like he deserved that.
Yeah.
It was
Because
self-defense.
It felt justified.
It did.
It felt very justified, and that's why I put it down because I was just like, bruh. But I also can see why they call her They call the movie Monster from
Yeah.
this point on. I was like, bro, she's a monster
Mm.
because her face. You see her face when she killed him,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's not a good face.
Yeah.
Not a
Especially
good-
too whenever like afterwards and
Yeah.
she's just like,
I was gonna talk about her body language
yeah,
here, man.
Dude,
When
that's
she
what I'm
like
saying.
she's straight up
she
walking around like a walker.
yeah,
like-
she's straight up like
Almost like Leatherface
Yeah.
from Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Yeah.
when
the
he's
whole
swinging
thing.
the
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like her mind is broken here.
Yeah.
where she's just can't even contain.
It's
anything.
almost like she got that fight or flight instinct.
Yeah.
Or like how we were talking about something before the pod, like that adrenaline
Yeah.
just kicked in.
Yeah.
Man, it was crazy. I enjoyed it because they set it up as like a Dexter style, where it's like, oh, okay, she's killed someone, but it's out of self-defense. So this is where the
This is the
serial
way that
killer,
she'll operate.
Yeah, this
right?
is the serial killer nature in her of
Yeah.
oh, she's gonna be with these guys who are innately evil and want to do like horrible assaults to her and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's a way where we can justify this throughout the entire movie. And I really like how they start kind of turning that on its head. And, at first you get the idea of the monster being the men that she's with, but then we get to start to see how that kind of inverts and where she becomes the true monster of
They
the
pulled
movie.
the Uno
Yeah.
reverse and say jokes on you. She's
Yeah.
the monster.
Exactly.
I really enjoyed that
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, most definitely.
I have mine's pretty far down if you have anything.
I have-
You said you won. Mine's The one where she kills the guy that is not even there to do anything. He's just there to help her and drive
The
her
old
to
man.
town.
Oh, the old man. Okay, mine's a little bit before.
Okay.
And it's. I'm trying to think which guy she killed because it's right after they're in the hotel.
Yes.
And
Is
it's
this?
when,
It's before Cell knew, right? This is before Selby. They call her Cell and Lee, right?
yes.
Yeah.
It's before Selby knew.
It Cell's
And
like, I'm starving here.
No, yes, that's my favorite scene.
You
Dude.
ain't giving me nothing.
And
Yeah.
it's my favorite scene because the acting
You're
they both
using me.
do is crazy.
It is.
Because she was like, "You told me to leave my house. We're supposed to be partying. I ain't having fun. We're not partying." And
Yeah.
she goes,
She's like, you're using me.
"Yeah." And she goes, "You're using me. Like, you think just because I'm a little sick that you can just take advantage of me, and that I would just take care of you, and this and that." And this is when Lee starts opening up, and I think this is what you like, right?
Yeah.
And she starts just saying her childhood trauma and just what she's been through,
Yeah.
going through, and
And then she tells her, "I killed someone."
yes,
literally
Like,
yes.
straight up, I
Straight
killed
up.
someone. We can't do this anymore. There's somebody dead.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And now that I think about it, it's the scene where she takes the car. At first, when she goes, "Oh, my friend borrowed a car." And she takes it and
Oh,
goes,
and she comes back and she's got the hat on to hide
Yeah.
the scars.
Yes,
and
yes,
that,
yes.
Yeah.
and it's just their acting was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I low key. It sounds dumb, but I want one of those hugs that Selby gave. Man, they held each other.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know. It was just the acting, because I know you had mentioned before I even watched this movie, this acting is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite scenes where you get to see their acting chops in full effect.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
It felt like a very human moment
Yes.
because you get to see some of that childhood trauma, like you were talking about, of Lee saying, "Oh, you leave. I know you want to leave. You don't want to be with me. Nobody wants to be with me." Like she starts to bring out that anxiety that she's had of being abandoned and not loved. And Cell's just there going, "Oh, I'm sorry. We just get to see Lee completely melt into her shoulder and just break down, cry.
Mm-hmm.
It felt so real,
Yeah.
and it felt like this is exactly what she's needing. Is literally just some love
Yeah.
because her life has been so crappy.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I really enjoyed that. I think it was very nuanced, which I enjoyed. She wasn't just like, it wasn't very on the nose. It was more like this is true trauma coming out of her.
Like, this is
Yeah.
what's happening, and I don't know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. But going on to mine, the only reason I had liked it as my favorite scene is because it's his name is Herschel
Yeah.
in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And I saw that he's the most genuinely like wholesome, sweet guy.
Yeah.
In The Walking Dead too. He's one of the greatest characters in there.
Yeah.
And to see him here really young, I was like, that's my boy Herschel.
Yes.
And he's honestly like she's going out hooking their goal because before this she kills a cop
Yes.
and she's like, oh crap, we got to get out of here. Like I'm gonna get a new car and we're gonna book it. So that's what she's doing. She's out late at night trying to get people to sleep with her and so she can kill them and get the car. But one of the most genuinely nice men drives up and says, "Hey, come on, get in." She shows them her
Yeah. She
quote
gives him
unquote kids.
The whole spiel.
Yeah.
Right.
"Oh, I just need a couple $. Can you help me out?" And he goes, "Yeah, I can help you out. I'll take you home. We got a spare bedroom. I'm sure my wife won't mind. I can give you some money, get you back to your kids." Right? You see him.
Yeah.
He's genuinely trying to help.
He was like, "Get you a fresh shower."
Yeah.
And she's been in the rain all day, so like, imagine how good a fresh shower would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's genuinely
Taking
just
care.
trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
And that's when
And-
you get that like conflict within her to be
Yeah.
like, well, I can't kill him because he's a nice guy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm only trying to kill the evil in the world.
Yes.
So she tells him to pull over, and he does, and he's like, no, go. What do you mean? It's not that far away. Just get in. Come on. And she pulls her purse out, and the gun falls out.
Yeah.
And of course, he's like,
Oh,
whoa.
shoot. Yeah.
And she gets back in, and she goes,
No, but when he
Keep
he
driving.
says gets me, and he goes, "Listen, if you're in some kind of trouble, I'm sure we can help you out."
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Drive."
Drive.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Start driving.
"No."
And immediately you're just like, oh, dude, this poor guy.
yeah,
dude.
it's one of the biggest bro moments because he's pleading for his life, saying, "I
Yes,
got
dude.
my wife, my grandson,
grandkids.
I got people coming with someone's pregnant."
Yeah, and
Like, you
she
can't
starts
do
getting
this.
mad too. She's like, "Shut up, shut up!"
Yeah.
Like she doesn't want to feel for the guy anymore. And dude,
she wants to believe that he's evil.
Exactly, and it breaks my heart when he starts going, "Oh, my wife, my grandkids, oh my god,"
and he's just
like,
execution
please,
style.
you don't have to do this. And she starts crying, and then just goes, "Pow!" Pulls the trigger.
I don't know.
I immediately was just like, "Oh my gosh, dude!"
Yeah, I didn't think she would do it.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't either. I did not either.
It leads you to think like maybe there's some humanity,
Yeah,
and then she does it.
I don't know.
Like, and then it cuts to black too,
Yeah.
so you're immediately like, "Oh,
dude." Afterwards, I swear, I was sitting on my couch going,
yeah,
"No way did they do that right now."
yeah,
It was depravity. Like, this is her lowest point.
yeah,
And this is when I feel like she even can't live with herself anymore.
yeah."
Because she's like, I had this mentality of killing the killers, killing the, horrible men.
Yeah.
And now I'm out here killing innocents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm just reading my notes, and I said, every time she kills someone, it surprises me. I don't know why, but the old man hurt me. That's literally what I wrote down in my stuff.
Yeah, man, when I saw that, I was like, it's my favorite scene just because it's Herschel. And
Yeah.
because I have that link to the character, it made it hurt more. Because I was like, I know him.
Yeah.
I know how nice and genuine he is.
Also, the death he dies in The Walking Dead.
Is
Too. You're just
it's horrible.
yeah. We see the way that they do his character. You're just like desecrated. Like
He can't catch a break.
yeah,
man.
man. Seriously.
Oh gosh. So I don't know. If you're a Walking Dead fan, I hope you felt the same.
Yeah.
The last scene I have is when Lee is buying Selby the bus ticket.
Mm.
And again, you get to see the acting chops.
Yeah. And also just how much Lee really cares for Selby.
No,
She
yeah,
does.
yeah,
She
yeah.
really
She
does.
really does care for Selby. But this is the part where I was like, bruh. Like you said, she really cares. She was like, she tells herself, I can't forgive myself for what I've done. Like, come back to me, please. You're all I have. And she's just literally crying on her lap right before she leaves. And that's the last time she sees her.
Yep.
Before, obviously, the ending.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt a little teeny bit bad for her at that moment.
Okay.
Because I was just like, she doesn't have anybody.
Yeah.
She really doesn't have anybody. And everybody deserves that. At least one person to have.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, gosh, dude. Like, but then that, you'll hate me, but that part of me is like, you did this to yourself, dude. You got yourself in this mess. Sorry, not sorry.
It's just the consequences there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's my last favorite scene.
Yeah. I don't have any more, but honorable mention, the ending, I think was
Yeah.
genuinely just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
To see
What
her
part of the ending?
I'm to see her in the court
In the courtroom to listen to the whole tape.
No, not even that. Whenever she's on the phone with Cell
in the jail.
and she starts to realize that Cell
She's getting
is
set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge bro moment for me. Because she
Remember
slowly
when we
you can
crashed
see
the
this
red
look
car?
of
Yeah,
like
she's like, "What are you talking about?
yeah.
I'm trying to get out of trouble here, and you're just like
Digging
Yeah.
my grave deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you see this look of realization come over
And she's like,
Lee,
"Oh."
and she's immediately kind of like, I
gotta accept
understand
it.
what's going on here.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
I need to accept the consequences.
Yeah.
yeah, because she doesn't want Cell to go down because she loves her too much.
Yeah.
I felt horrible
But
because she
Selby
was
didn't
like,
really do anything except hide her.
I mean,
But which is still bad.
technically
It's
an
still bad.
accomplice.
Yeah, to accomplish the murder.
she knew. She was pretty much okay
Yeah.
with it.
She
Yeah.
knew probably 4 after.
She knew about one, and then Lee confronted her and was like, "You knew. Come on, you knew. You saw all the cars. You freaking knew. Like, put some intuition in here. You knew." And she was willing to leave with her. She was willing. She literally said, Lee came home and said, "Hey, I killed a cop. I gotta lay low. Like, this is crazy." And she goes, "No, that's not the plan. You gotta go and get another."
Yeah.
So she's basically telling her, "Go and kill someone else. Get a new car. I don't
Yeah,
care."
So that way we can leave.
So she's no better.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I wonder if she got charged with anything.
I don't know. She probably went into witness protection or
Yeah,
something.
probably. I don't know.
But
She
Yeah.
deserves some kind of jail time.
She
At least a little bit.
Some kind of.
something.
She almost seemed like a leech, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, Cell was
Yeah, she was for real a needy baby.
a needy baby. She was so whiny.
Yeah.
I was so.
I want to go out. I want to do
I
stuff.
want to go to Fun World. I was
Yeah.
like, go get a job. Like,
I want to see my friends.
they're spending money on literally only beer and cigarettes.
And a teddy bear.
And a freaking teddy bear. I was
She's
like,
all, we don't need to spend money on this. Throws a teddy bear.
Cell, you're
funny.
this is crazy. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, but it's not anything good.
Yeah.
Like, you're no better.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Two bad people in a relationship.
For
Crazy.
sure.
Yeah, that's it for me though.
All right. If that's it for favorite scenes, let's get into best quotes then.
All right.
What?
Nothing. I want to show Nick what I looked up of the name.
What? What is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I looked it up, and that's what it is.
What?
Is that who is that?
That's her name. That's what it says her name was.
Oh, her girlfriend?
Yeah.
That show was based off of?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I have that. I have a couple of things in the facts regarding Cell's character.
Okay, I'm curious because
No, what's Cell's real name?
Tyria? Or
Tyra Moore.
yeah.
Okay. Well, don't look up Tyra Moore on Google.
there's
Why?
some kind of explicit content.
It's very explicit. It's not Tyra Moore that we're thinking.
Not family friendly.
Okay.
I'll start with my favorite quote, only
All
because it kind of dives deeper into her, just where she gets her resistance to humanity, pretty much, or just how she was raised. But she's talking about the strength it requires to be a hooker, to be a woman in her position. The quote goes, "People always look down their noses at hookers, never give you a chance because they think you took the easy way out, when no one could imagine the willpower it took to do what we do."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, walking in these streets night after night, taking the hits and still getting back up. I was like, oh my gosh.
She's kind of speaking some truth.
It's
Yeah.
really true. I mean, some of the things that she has to go through, I was like, and then the fact that she's still walking through it,
Yeah, exactly.
the fact that she's not like completely mentally scrambled is something to commend, at least a little bit, because
Yeah.
She might be a little bit with all the killings.
she goes through some trash.
Yeah.
We'll go through a lot of them with bro moments, but I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
I have
Yeah.
one that gave me chills when she said it, and she's talking about a monologue about she's starting over, she's going to start over, start her life straight, and she mentioned that she's killed the people, and she goes, "I'm good with the Lord." And I immediately got chills when she said that, because I was like, girl, you don't even know the truth. You ain't good with the Lord. Like, bruh,
Yeah.
you going to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Her way of coping.
Yeah, I mean, it was her way of coping, but
She's trying to tell herself everything's all right. when
Mhm.
yeah.
in
Don't
reality-
worry.
Yeah, to tie it back to the last episode.
I need some of that calmness, man. Some of
But
that quiet.
I don't know, just hearing her say that and seeing her say that with a straight face, just imagine. I just want to imagine her. I want to see her in real life and how she acted.
Oh, okay.
Just because that just, like I said, hearing that gave me chills.
Okay.
And I just can't imagine what else she would say to make her feel like everything is justified that she's doing.
Mm. Yeah, my only quote that I have written down is towards the end of the movie. I think it's the last little bit of lines that are spoken. And Eileen is going on this monologue, and she's saying very, like, cliche, like, things that people tell you to, like, try to make things feel better, right? And she says, "Love conquers all. Every cloud has a silver lining. Faith can move mountains. Love will always find a way. Everything happens for a reason. Where there is life, there is hope." And she chuckles and then says, "Oh, well, I got to tell you something." And then, she walks out and doors close and she dies of lethal injection, to do the death sentence.
2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 years being on death row.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Honestly, if I were to end up on death row, I know I never will.
Never say never.
Disappears.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were doing the one where he disappears. He just.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
that
But the
one.
noise.
The noise that goes with it's that Party Next Door song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I lost my train of thought.
My last quote that I loved, and I laughed so hard because
What?
Charlize Theron's her delivery on some of these lines and her just the way she carries herself it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's when they were at the really nice fancy restaurant and Cell lights up a cigarette and the guy comes and he's like, "Hey, this is a no smoking zone. You got to get out of here. You got to put that out." And she straight up gets up, like pushes the fool. The dude's telling him to get out and she goes, "Yeah, y'all better watch your effing food because there's a effing roach the size of mine." And she goes like this.
Yeah.
And it's massive. When I heard that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, her delivery here is
Yeah.
incredible." And
Yeah.
she has no shame
Yeah,
at all.
None at all.
And Selby's just laughing.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that was the last one I had.
Okay. Well, let's get into bro moments then.
Yeah, 22. What do you got over there?
My first one is when you see Selby at the bar, sitting by herself, and someone goes up to her and goes, "Anybody sitting here?" And then she goes, "No." Then she takes the chair and she goes, "I found where I'm sitting at." I was like, "Bruh, you just gonna do her like that?"
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was mad. No,
got wrecked.
I would have. If someone did that to me, I'd be like, "No, that chair stays there." Or you're. I almost cussed. Your butt sitting there.
Yeah.
I was very upset because I was like, dude, that's
Yeah.
dirty.
I even have to as a bro moment, just the intro, like and finding out the type of life that this woman lived before we catch up with her and watch the events that take place in the film. Like she's talking about how she never had a stable home life, and then she was adopted, and she all this time she'd always thought that she was beautiful and that she just wanted to be a big star, and
she just wanted to be seen and be known
and
to make it big.
Exactly. And the whole thing was I was just so sad for her because her entire life she's just been striving for validation from other people, and she never got it and always got taken advantage of, and it just immediately makes you feel so bad for her. And I was just couldn't help but feel sympathy for her and just be like, man, I can't imagine living a life like that.
Yeah.
It sucks.
The next sympathetic bro moment I had was when she was getting ready in the public bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
she's all, hold on a minute.
And
she's straight up brushing her hair.
Yeah, and like drying off, doing the whole shower thing where she's got the, napkins. And
Yeah,
it was rough. It was really rough to see her in that position.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh.
I know she's not weirdo now or creepy, but Selby invites Lee to go to her house and stay over, and Lee gets a shower and she comes out, and this I wrote, Selby's kind of creepy if you ask me.
It was a little weird.
Because she goes up and looks at Lee and goes, "Can I touch her face?"
Yeah. I was like, what the heck is happening right now?
And I was just like, bro, you're creepy. You don't even know this girl and you just want to touch her face?
Yeah. Yeah.
Inviting her to her bed too. I was like, what?
Yeah, true.
This is a little quick.
I was laughing too at her pajamas and
Yeah,
how short they are on her.
Yeah.
It's super funny.
Yeah.
My next bro moment after the scene, which triggers everything, is whenever Selby is using Eileen's stories on those girls at the bar.
Why?
I had no clue.
What's wrong? Like, I feel like the movie didn't build that up enough.
It was so cringe to me.
Why? I don't get it. I truly don't understand.
I wonder if it was just because at this point, like, Selby is like, discontent with their situation. It's just like, I want to go out. I want to meet people. I want to do this. And like, I'm assuming she just, she knows that her life is just not interesting. So she tries to use stories from
sheltered.
Exactly. And so she tries to use stories from Eileen's personal life in her own to make her feel interesting or to make her seem interesting so that way people want to talk to her.
Yeah.
And she's doing it, and the way that she's going about it, I'm just like, are you serious? Like, you're just lying to these people, trying to get them to like you. It's
I
insane.
hated it. I hated it.
Yeah, I hated it too.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, and the whole time, dude, she's like putting on this facade of like, I told that guy he could shove it, and I didn't want this job anyway, and I pushed him, and blah 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 stuff and everything, and I was like, you didn't do any of that, dude.
This is cringe.
Yeah,
and I think it didn't work for me because they don't really give us enough time with Selby, honestly.
Okay.
Like, there's, I imagine she's doing this because she's always at home because Lee's always gone. But we don't really get that sense of like being home ridden and not being wanted to be there. It's kind of really abrupt when it comes out. Yeah. So it's like, I thought you had a great relationship with Lee. Why are you kind of trying to tarnish it or build it? And another problem is when she goes to Fun World. Yeah. And then she asks one of the ladies to go on the Ferris wheel before she asks Lee. Yeah. I was like, is she trying to
make her jealous?
She's trying to mac on someone.
Yeah, I think she's trying to mac on someone else.
Or make her jealous.
You think so?
Maybe. Well, yeah, maybe because she gets mad that she's always gone. She's by herself. So maybe she's trying to do it to get her attention.
I don't know.
I
didn't like it.
That would make the most sense.
My next bro moment is right after the last one I said. After she wakes up and Lee goes to this storage place.
I think his name is Thomas.
Oh, yeah, Bruce Dern.
Yeah.
Straight up in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm blind!
And he offers her a sandwich, and she says, yeah. And then she goes,
It sucks because
that's her life.
That's her mentality.
That's
it's like I can't get anything unless I give that.
Exactly.
She goes,
that's
do you want me to give you pleasure for the sandwich?
Pleasure.
I don't know how else to say it. Like
the grapefruit. You want
me to do the grape? You want me to do the for a sandwich?
That sandwich looked dry, dude.
It was just a ham and white bread sandwich, dude.
On Wonder Bread.
Yeah, it looked like it.
You're taking some bites of that and going.
Yeah, you're
that's why
stuck on the roof of your mouth, dude. Freaking trying to get that thing down for a month.
Yeah.
But I was just like, bruh, like just no shame, just straight up like, hey, I'll do this for you since you get a sandwich.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is like that's her thought process.
Yeah, it's
characterizing.
characterizing.
She has nothing left to offer. Which,
not even that. It's like that's the only thing people want from her.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
You know, she's been doing it for so long, where it's like
she's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm good for.
Yeah, I'm not good for anything else. Like, no one even wants me for company. They just want me to do these things to them. That's it.
Yeah. My next bro moment is whenever Selby crashes the red car.
So dumb.
She crashes it and then cries about it after.
It was her fault.
Yes, and she's like, I don't want to walk. I
it wasn't. No, it wasn't Selby's fault.
Yes, it was.
Dude, no, it was not. The whole conversation they were having before.
Okay. Give us some context here.
They're having a conversation.
I hate it.
And Lee was saying like, you don't need these people, like, and blah blah blah. Like we're independent. Like INDEPENT. Do you know what that means? Sorry. And Selby goes like, yeah, we don't need them. And Lee goes, right, Selby.
Right, yeah.
Like, and I straight up interpreted she was agreeing with her, like, right, we don't need him.
Mm.
And then she finally goes, right.
No, right, Selby.
Like,
and then
take a right turn.
Yeah.
No, and then
and then she goes,
she said it so last minute because she said it right after she said, yeah, we don't need these people.
But it's Selby's fault to just
Selby's
be like,
fault.
oh,
Dude,
you said right? Woo!
I know.
Turn the thing.
I have been in this position with Lisa. We would drive, and then she goes, oh, you need to take a right here. And then you just continue going because it's too quick of a turn.
Yeah.
You got to make the judgment call and say, I'll do a U-turn later, or I'll pull off and turn, and or go on the next exit. You don't just freaking... She didn't even use brakes, dude.
No.
She straight up went...
She said, I whipped.
She tried to freaking Need for Speed that. Yeah. Tokyo Drift.
She said, I wonder if you know.
Yeah, seriously.
It was...
I don't think it was her fault.
Solely Selby's fault.
I think she just said, I think she just got the information too late and just committed.
If anyone did that with me in the car, I'd be pissed.
I would be like, you're
I'd be like,
dumb.
Do you not brake? What are the brakes for?
Or like, look, you need to turn here. There's a million other roads we can go down. Just chill out.
Yeah. So, and then afterwards, the real bro moment for me was whenever she crashes it and she's like, I don't want to walk. I want to drive in the car.
Yeah.
And then she's like, we cannot drive in the car. I killed somebody for that car. If we see that, if those
and she
people
looks
just
back at the car and then just.
Yeah, it just starts running.
Yeah.
And it was a bro moment too because she just doesn't understand. Like, listen, I killed somebody for that car. Those people saw us and saw that we crashed it. We can't drive anymore. We're gonna ditch it.
Yeah.
I thought it was wild. She goes, I ain't got no insurance. We'll take care of it ourselves.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're straight up
dude.
bleeding like from the crash.
Don't call him yet.
Yeah.
That was really the start of why the cops got to get the drawings.
That
out
was the
to
start.
news. I was like,
Exactly.
freaking Selby's so stupid.
Yep.
My next bro moment made me so mad because I know there's people like this, and I'll probably get heat for it. But that dirty cop
Yeah, that's my next one. That
Yeah.
oh
Made
my
me-
gosh.
pissed off to the T
Yeah.
because she goes, because he goes, do you remember me?
Yeah.
She's like, no.
He's like, I took it pretty easy back on you back in the 95.
And then when she goes and says, you almost broke my effing jaw.
Yeah.
I
Pretty
was just
easy
like,
my butt.
Yeah.
no way that was easy.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, she's doing wrong, but a cop is supposed to protect and serve. Yeah, protect and serve my butt.
Yeah.
He
And then he straight up says, crawl over the seats.
don't
Yeah.
crawl over.
I hated it. I was like,
Yeah.
you know better
No.
than the criminals on the
You're
street.
supposed to be the solution to the problem.
Exactly.
You're the problem to the solution.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We know that all too well, especially in
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
recent years.
yeah, it's crazy. That really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Really
I was
pissed me
upset.
off.
I was just like, there's no way. And the fact that he knew her
Yeah.
Yeah.
already, like, she's probably hadn't been there for a while, and he was like, "Oh, I know this girl. She's scared, so I'm gonna take advantage of her."
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
My last bro moment is when she goes back to that bar, and those like beefy biker guys were like, "Oh, following her around," and it felt really weird. And then what's his name? Thomas?
The bald guy?
Yeah.
Bruce Dern's character?
Yeah.
His name's Tom.
Okay. Yeah.
He tried saving her.
He did. He said, "You're
he
gonna
was
jump
like,
over
"You're
that
gonna
fence."
jump over that fence and get in my car and run."
And she took it as like, "Not you, not
Yeah.
you."
I don't want you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was really just trying to save her because he knew something
But she
sketchy
was
was
so
happening.
drunk
He
and
was trying to tip her
incoherent.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then them just all
Yeah.
the cops coming in, and
Bro, I thought it was a big
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
I was like, "Bro, wow,
Insane.
she's done for."
Yeah.
I got one more. Do you got any more?
No.
My last one, it's kind of bad, but there's a victim, or was going to be a victim. And the guy was like, he was what'd you call him?
2-pump chump.
He
Pump
was-
chump.
Less than that, bro. She straight up,
She
like,
straight
would
up
just have
had
to go.
pity for the fool and was like,
She said-
"I'm not killing you, bro."
She was like saying some really vulgar stuff, like, "Do you like it this way?" And he was like,
he was like,
"I've never done this before."
"No, I don't. I don't like it that way."
I don't like it rough.
yeah.
And then she goes, "Unzip your pant," and then just
All she'd have to do is go, like, just
Yeah,
blow
and he'd
next
just
to
go,
it, and he'd be like,
"Ah."
"Yeah,
literally he
I
was,
was
a
like-
literally he was a 2-pump jump.
yeah." I was like, "What?"
That's
the?
funny.
So I was like, "Oh, what's his first time?"
That's funny.
Yeah, but it also shows too where she's really trying to build it up to make it seem like he's evil. He's
Oh,
like,
she's
Yeah.
"Oh, you want to take advantage of me? You want to do all this to me? You like it dirty? You like it all this?" Like
Yeah.
she's really trying to be like trying to bring out the evilness
Yeah.
that she thinks that all
He
men
was
have, or
so
all people
shy and
have.
timid.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
just sitting there like, I don't know. This is my first time.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to be like, this is a complete antithesis of her motive. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
can't kill this guy in clear conscience now because he's not doing anything to take advantage of her in an evil way.
Yeah.
She's providing a service, and he's paying her,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Just like how it's always been. But now she has no reason to kill him.
Exactly.
Which I was like, bro, this is crazy.
Yeah. All right. Any other bro moments?
No, because we talked about most of them
Okay.
for mine.
It for me.
All right. Let's get into some facts then, which I think this part will be pretty interesting.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're given the history.
Yeah.
So you want to start us off first?
Yeah. So it only took about $8 million to make this movie, which I thought was a pretty low budget. I thought it was a good
Yeah.
budget.
I figured it would be lower.
Yeah. I thought it'd be lower as well.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't see the results or anything like that.
So opening weekend it only made $86,831.
Yikes.
But gross for U.S. and Canada made $34.4 million,
Okay.
and gross worldwide made $58.4 million.
Okay.
So it made its money. for
Charlize
sure.
Theron carrying
Yes.
that movie
It made
on her
50
back.
and I think it's because I'm probably gonna steal one of your facts. It's because it's an Oscar-winning film.
yeah.
Mm.
This
I
one,
want to say that's because why.
it probably definitely got some traction because of the nom, but also after the win, people are gonna go check it out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how
That's
many of
what
us?
I'm saying,
How many
yeah.
of us do that? When the Oscars happen, we see a movie that we didn't watch, and we're like, "Oh, this won Best Actor or Best Picture."
Mhm.
I didn't check it out. Let's see what the hype's about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's gonna get that money regardless. So, yeah, definitely. I also had a little known fact on the win. So the night that the Oscars took place, when Charlize won for Best Actress, was Eileen Wuornos's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Very fitting.
Yeah.
Which is kind of creepy.
Yeah. Another one here, actually, in regards to Eileen. She was notoriously a very uncooperative person. And then out of nowhere, she decided to give the director and writer, Patty Jenkins, access to hundreds of letters that she had handwritten and received in order to gain insight into her life.
Dang.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's why it felt so authentic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Most definitely.
So in the scene where she's job hunting, Eileen mentioned something about giving the baby up. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, she was like, you had to give the baby up when you're
And
13.
she was
in the
13.
like monologue that
Yeah.
she has or something.
The real life Eileen Wuornos did indeed get pregnant at the age of 13 from hooking on the free time outside of school. She was made up to give the son, she had a son, immediately up for adoption right after.
Yeah.
Imagine,
Sucks. Imagine 13-year-old Drew with a kid.
That's right.
I
There's
can't.
no way.
Do you think that kid knows who his mom is?
Probably.
13, you don't even know yourself. Pretty much, you're still learning.
No, but now today,
but now, like,
do you think the kid that she has, and do you think the adoptive parents told him this was your mom?
Probably. I mean, I think, I don't want to speak for any adopted, people who are adopted, but I would only assume that you would want to know.
After a certain amount of years.
After a certain amount of years, you feel like you're ready for it. You'd be like, I want to know who my biological parents are. What went on? Like, why?
Yeah.
But it was right after birth, too. Which means
who knows?
Maybe
Maybe
they've
been sheltered their whole life. Who knows?
Yeah.
Wouldn't know.
I just think about like scenarios. Like, imagine if this kid was like, "Oh, we learned about a new killer." Or like, I'm listening to podcasts about a killer. I'm reading articles about this, and her name is Eileen Wuornos.
And you're like,
and imagine like your kid telling you that, and that you got to be like, "Yeah, that was your mom."
That's a difficult situation.
Yeah, because it's definitely.
I mean, being adopted just from regular people is hard enough to hear.
But hearing
now
your
it's
mom
hearing
is
like
serial killer.
Yeah, your mom is like historically like important.
Yeah. Well, and also like think about it this way too, with the way like we have like Ancestry.com and 23andMe and everything like that. Alexa and I just recently watched that documentary on Netflix.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Forget that documentary.
Like
it's
imagine,
called
Our Father.
Yes. And now imagine you got old enough and your adoptive parents never told you that was your parent. Like, I would feel betrayed almost too. Like, it goes through this,
I guess
it's bad
once you get
way.
to a certain age, I would be like, okay, we're going to talk to you about some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like at a certain age might be right.
I think there's a parenting saying that goes, they're going to learn it either way. Might as well be from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I mean, I get it. Don't shelter your kid, but don't tell them when they're 8 years old.
No.
This is
obviously you need to do it at the right time and right place.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, she indeed had a kid.
Okay.
Wow.
Kind of wild.
A fact here about Scott Wilson: he initially turned down the role to play Horton several times before finally agreeing to it. He thought that to play the part correctly, he'd have to go to a dark place emotionally that he didn't think he was ready for, which I thought was interesting because he does strike me as a gentleman, honestly, like just a very nice guy.
Yeah. And
I could definitely see being in a position saying like, "Nah, I'm not ready for that kind of emotional trauma yet." Like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
All right. I actually have a one in regards to the biker bar.
Okay.
So the biker bar scenes that we see a lot of in the film were actually filmed at this bar called The Last Resort. And this bar was actually frequented by Eileen Wuornos when she was alive. This was also the place where she was arrested. The owner who capitalized the owner, he not only makes a cameo in the film.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so he's the guy that goes up and cuts her off from the tab. And then she, freaks out and was like, I've been here for years. You're going to cut me off, blah, blah, blah. But the real life owner also capitalized on this being the bar where Eileen Wuornos would frequent it. And he put a sign on the front of the bar that says, quote, "Cool beer and killer women."
Honestly,
dude.
Honestly, if you're
subtle.
Yeah.
If you don't know the facts, you're like,
if you don't know the facts and you're like, you're a single guy?
Yeah.
Killer women, count me in.
You're like, all right,
but it's like,
and then if you know, you're like, oh man, people that come here could kill me, bro. I thought that was pretty funny.
The last fact that I have, according to the director and writer, was this film was shot in 28 days. As many as 4 scenes or 9 pages of script was shot in one day.
Yeah,
I think is intense.
That's a pretty fast production. That's breakneck speed,
That's a month.
Yeah, you're just going in.
That's literally the whole month of February.
Yeah.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's insane. My last fact here is actually in regards to Selby's character. So we had discovered that she's based off of Eileen Wuornos' real life girlfriend, who I've written down her name as Tyria Moore.
Okay, I just said Tyra.
Yeah. No, because it's spelled differently, so I don't want people to look something up and then be like, oh, what's this?
Well, how's it spelled?
Tyria Moore.
Oh, yeah, I spelled it wrong.
So, the Selby's character is based off of this person who was Eileen Wuornos' real girlfriend at the time. Selby is, for all intents and purposes, a fictional character. Moore was a notoriously reclusive person and didn't give out many details of her personal life, and asked not to have her name or likeness used in the film, which director Patty Jenkins agreed to. The filmmakers had to use a lot of imagination when it came to writing Selby, so because of that, Selby, as a person, doesn't actually exist, but she's based on a real person. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Fact here, she had to gain 20 to 30 pounds and she actually shaved her eyebrows.
Yeah.
To play Eileen.
Yeah. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah. The character who plays Selby, what's her name again?
Christina Ricci.
She had to gain 20 pounds.
Okay.
And they, dressed in some unglamorous clothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Most definitely.
I know. So I just looked it up. She took the witness stand.
Yes.
And she gave a 75-minute testimony.
Wow.
That's
gotta be
7
hard.
people?
Yeah, she only killed 7 people. She had 7 victims.
So I guess she's still around and she lives in Pennsylvania with the family.
Okay.
But she took the witness stand and gave 75 minutes, and that protected her.
Wow.
Which is insane. 75 minutes that's an hour and 15.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I was just telling.
Spilling your guts on stage. It's rough. Yeah. All right. Anything else for facts?
That's it.
Okay. What didn't work for this movie? I'll start. I really only have one thing, but maybe some things might arise as we're talking about things. But some of the editing choices and song choices in this movie just didn't age well for me.
Yeah.
No way.
I had written down specifically when Eileen and Selby leave or they part ways on the bus, it starts playing this cheesy music where it's like it feels like an old 2000s credit commercial where it's like, take back your life, don't let bad credit reports, and it's like in the background you just hear
that reminds me of the Education Connection.
Yeah, or bad hold music on a corporation, telephone. It was bad, and they do the same thing at the ending of the movie. They play this same cheesy music, and they convict Eileen, and she's like, "You're gonna send, an abused woman to jail. Shame on you." Blah, blah, all this stuff, and then in the background all you hear is, and it's like, this doesn't fit. This feels weird. Have something else go along with this instead of it being feeling happy, joyful, and stuff and everything. But then the whole time we're just
yeah.
It didn't fit. It felt weird.
Yeah, another thing about editing and it just feeling kind of odd. This movie felt insanely old. Whenever I started this movie, even the camera work, so I'm like, it didn't strike me as a 2003 movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems older, and that's something that I wanted to mention about it was because there was some, I don't know if it's my laptop. I'm going to check it on my computer or my TV after this, but there were certain spots in the film where I just was blurry. I couldn't see anything. And I think specifically of when she gets in that car with the old man from The Walking Dead. Yeah. It's very blurry. You can see everything that's happening, but it's just very blurry. And I was just like, I don't think it was my laptop. I truly don't think.
I don't know. It didn't feel like a 2003 movie. I literally had to pause it and be like, when did this come out? Because I really thought it was way early, a way older movie than it was. And I was like, 2003? Are you kidding me? I was like, what? For some reason, the camera quality wasn't up to par.
Yeah. I think that was around the time, too, where, digital filming had, was really getting popular.
Okay.
So maybe it's just camera quality.
Do you know what it was shot on?
No, I don't.
No, because I get, sometimes they try to make it intentionally look old and rustic to fit within the time period, but this didn't feel intentional. It kind of felt just like...
It just happened.
It just, I don't know, it felt... way dated, and I was very confused. I didn't really like it. I also, if I'm being really honest, I didn't like Selby as a character at all.
Okay.
I didn't really enjoy any of the scenes that she was in. The only one I liked was her doing the roller skating.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, we don't really. She doesn't get developed anymore.
She just kind of becomes a burden.
She becomes a really big burden, and she becomes part of the problem here.
Yeah.
And it really bugged me, and I don't really like. Some of the dialogue with her, I thought it was kind of really, generic, and I was just like...
Or it comes off sometimes as forced.
It does, and when she's crying on the phone, I was like, I don't like the delivery here. It doesn't really sell you as a character like in turmoil right now. I was just like, you could do better. I really don't enjoy this.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
I think that's it for me, honestly. I didn't like this movie was just intense the whole time for me. So it's just I had my eyes glued to it. So it was hard for me to pick and pull about it and thinking about it. It's just those were the only things that bothered me.
Okay. I think like when I think of this movie, I don't think of like too many things that bother me or like that I really like strongly don't like. But there's also a lot of things in this movie where I'm just kind of like, it was subpar.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that might be a little bit of a detriment to the film. Because like when I think of movies that came out around this time, and I think about like, you know, how captivating cinematography can be. Like we said, Kill Bill came out at this time.
Yeah, Kill Bill.
That's crazy.
Like it's visually stunning. And like, you know, with this movie, it kind of feels like we're just like,
well, yeah, because with
all right,
Pirates of the
rudimentary, we're going to
Caribbean-
set up this tripod and we're just going to sit right here and you're going to film this scene and then we're going to move it over here. You're going to say your line and then we're going to move it back. And, you know, it felt like, I don't know, maybe I'm wishing for a little bit more artistic direction rather than just kind of like very cookie cutter, like showing
That
what it
makes
was.
sense.
There's nothing to kind of hold your interest and be like, whoa,
Yeah,
no, they cared.
Or that was sick. Oh, this was cool. You know, it's just kind of like the only thing to really, you know, hang on to with this film is just the acting.
Yeah. And
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you go.
well, I'm just speaking on top of my mind because it just came to my mind. It's just this movie. I don't think I want to rewatch it.
No.
Yeah,
I never
And
will
it- and
rewatch
not in a
this.
bad way. This movie was good. This movie was. I just don't think I want to put myself through that again and experience it.
Yeah, I definitely felt that.
Watch it
I
again.
definitely felt that after rewatching it again.
And it's not because it's a bad movie.
No,
it's
just
a bad movie.
I just think it's because it's just subpar. Like when I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, the acting is great, but there are so many other things that go into making a movie that make things great. Like
yeah.
you can have one great thing, but if you falter in think about it like when you're like
Well, if you only
doing
have
stats for like an Elden Ring character, if you stack all your stats on like a strength build, but you're crap and like
everything else, you're dead.
and everything else, you're like, oh, my character's trash.
Yeah,
Like,
trash build. Yeah,
exactly. So you gotta have balance here, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I shot myself in the foot because I'd watched two movies a day I watched it, and one of them was the Swiss Army Man, and then I watched Monster afterwards, and they both start the same way, where you're in a really depressive state. But Swiss Army Man is all about like finding hope through absurdity, and it was a genuinely nice, rewarding like a human triumphant film, and I was like, oh, I love this. I love feeling human. I love being human.
And then you go to this.
And then you watch this and you're just like, this sucks.
Yeah, and I was like, because it was two ends of the spectrum. One being like overcoming shame and you know finding yourself, accepting yourself, and this one is like, you know, vile. Humanity is vile. Everyone has this innate evil within them, and they're just gonna show it one way or another. And I was like, oh, it was such a drag. It was so.
You should have flipped the order.
I
man.
should have.
You should have watched this first and then watched.
Yeah, you'd have been so sad.
It probably would have made Swiss Army Men better.
It would have. It really would have. Because after watching that, I was like, oh, this is so good. And then I watched that, and I was like, I'm so depressed. Like I'm so like down in the dumps after this. Yeah. And you know, I'm going to contradict myself and say I am never going to watch it again. But it is something I think you probably should watch once.
No, yeah. I can agree with you with that.
For the performance alone.
Yeah, the performance alone. That's the only reason I'd return to this, to see her transform herself completely.
Yeah.
But I think you should watch this just to see how this person was. If this is something that you like, if you like true crime, this is a movie you need to watch.
I think this is a movie you could like, say you have some buddies over and you're just like, dude, you guys want to watch a wild movie? And they're just like, oh, yeah, sure. And you put this on, the whole time they're just going to be like,
what?
What?
No. Do you know what movie makes me...
You
know what movie makes me think that? The movie that we watched, I think like a month ago, 2 months ago, It Follows.
I really liked It Follows.
That is a movie where you're like, what?
We watched it out of nowhere. Yeah. We were just like
a tall 6'7" guy. Now it's like a baby. Like, what the heck?
I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I liked it too. That's a movie. That's a movie that I would.
Yeah, that's a a bro moment movie
That's a
too.
Yeah.
dumb movie.
Yeah.
But that's what makes me think when you say that. Like,
Yeah.
I would compare those two movies. Is that what,
I guess just in that aspect.
in
like-
that aspect, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if we're getting over what didn't work, what did work?
Straight up the acting.
The
Yeah.
acting.
Obviously.
Charlize Theron freaking kills it. She
I still
absolutely.
can't believe she's in Hancock.
She's in Hancock. She's in.
She's in quite a bit of other things
yeah,
too.
she really is. She's in the most recent. I think is the new Doctor Strange.
Oh wow.
Is
Okay.
she?
Yeah, she comes in at the very end, and
she was in this movie called Bombshell too,
she was.
with like Margot Robbie and somebody else. I forget.
She
but
was in Mad Max.
Yes. Yeah. She was the bald girl.
she was the. Oh my
She
gosh!
was the bald
Talk
girl.
about incredible movies. That movie's freaking awesome.
I've never watched
Mad
it.
Max Fury Road.
I want to watch it.
Oh my god!
I want a reason to watch it.
You know what? And you know what's so? It's great for us, but it like I feel like it devalues the movie. I go to Target all the time, and I see that like
$5 bin.
$5 value bin, and it's there, and I'm like, this movie's great. It's at least a $15 movie.
Okay.
Like it's so great. So it's good for us because we get great value, but it's like it has
not
that connotation
valuing the
to it,
movie.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, it's cheap.
and it's Blu-ray, which I was like,
Yeah.
for this great dude. No, I'm gonna pick that movie soon.
Oh,
she's
I
in-
want a reason
she's
to
in
watch
the,
it.
She's in the Italian Job.
Oh, that's one I haven't seen.
With Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in Fast. How many Fast and Furious is she in?
Yeah, she's in the new Fast and Furious movies.
She's in Fast X,
Mm.
Fast 9, Fate of the Furious. What the heck?
Yeah. She's got a career.
What the heck is this?
She's in this movie called Tully that I want to watch, where she plays like a nanny, or like a mom that needs a nanny. I forget exactly. I remember seeing a trailer for it and I wanted to watch it, and I was living at home at the time, and my mom was like, "That seems like the type of movie that you would want to watch," and I was like, "All right, sneak this, but okay."
Sneak this.
Yeah. So another thing that really did work for me, I mean, I kind of want to highlight the acting a little bit, and I hope that my comparison paid off a little bit, because whenever I first watched this movie, I went to Nick and I told him how great the performance was, and I said like I can almost only attribute like Charlize Theron's performance in this movie to like Johnny Depp's portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow. With like, you know how Captain Jack Sparrow has like, he's got this walk, he's got this movement, and you know whenever somebody like does this thing, you're like, oh, that's Captain Jack.
Yeah.
She
'cause
almost
I like to do that stupid run that he does.
yeah.
I do that all the time. And people are like, "Oh, you're doing the Jack
Sparrow run.
Yeah.
Like, I almost feel like she has her own version of this with Eileen Wuornos.
Mm-hmm.
Like
let me kill you and
no, like just her body movements, like especially like when she pushes that guy and she's like standing around and like
and she like flicks
like
her hair back.
yes, and like
this is a really
listen,
bad comparison. But do you know Tammy, the big O? I gotta watch my words.
the big O.
Tammy.
She's a heavy-set girl. She's
she a
on
comedian?
Yes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
The blonde girl,
That's who that.
Wait, blonde.
right? She's like
I don't
blonde,
Melissa McCarthy? Is that
No,
her?
no,
Oh, that's what
I
I'm
know who
thinking
you're
of.
talking about.
She.
I can picture her in my mind, but I know who you're talking about.
That's who I think of when you just said that.
Yeah.
Because they're the same thing.
That's Melissa McCarthy.
No. That's not who I'm.
He pulls up Tammy the
I
movie
put
as
the- I
Melissa
put the-
McCarthy.
I put up Tammy, but that's not who I'm looking at.
Are you looking
She's
like
a
a
stand-up comedian, right?
Yes.
She's short.
She's short,
Talking
heavy
about
set.
Yes.
Amy Schumer?
No.
I know she's blonde. I'm
No.
pulling
I
strings here.
can see her face.
What does she act similar to that or what?
No, she's
No.
not in movies. She's a stand-up comedian. Like
Oh, okay.
alone.
How is she in your mind?
Trailer Trash Tammy. I think that's her name.
Yes.
Trailer Trash Tammy.
Yes.
That's her name. I'm not making that up.
Yeah.
This girl.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
I know her.
That's what
Yes.
I'm saying. Tammy.
That's Tammy. Okay, what is she from?
She's just a comedian.
She got popular on
On
social
Tik-
media.
yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I know exactly who.
That's-
Yeah,
when you
she
said
looks
that-
exactly like
Yeah.
Eileen Wuornos.
Yes, and so like when I think of like the type of person that Charlize is portraying, and I see like how well she's doing it, I'm like, I feel like I know people like
Yeah.
this almost, and it's like insane, like almost uncanny, like seeing her act like this, because I'm like, I feel like this is a real person, and I just that alone about her performance blew my mind away.
Yeah.
But also, I also want to say I never really talk about wardrobe. That
Dude.
being so good in this movie, and it's so good because of how bad it is.
It is,
in
yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
And like you said that there was like they wore unflattering clothing, or you know it, and it's trash. Like it doesn't go like the outfit she wears to the interviews with like this like big puffy like shoulder padded jacket. It's like floral pattern, and then she's wearing this like unmatching skirt and these like boots with fringes on them.
It's so
like and this is the thing. Thought has to go into like that department. Like they have to really be like, oh man, this is like this is what this person would look like. She'd be wearing this, and this, and they make it all work so well. And I think that makes the environment and the almost like the feeling of the movie feel so much more like grittier and like grimy. And I have the same thing with like the makeup, you know, with the way that they make Charlize look as well. And it's I don't know. Really, when I think about the wardrobe and makeup department of this movie, I was kind of like, man, they kind of killed it.
They really did.
No, they did. They did a really good job.
Gosh, that outfit when she comes home from her first kill and she's like in that like
jumpsuit, jumpsuit with a trucker hat on.
I was like, what the heck?
Yeah,
it's unflattering, and I think for a purpose, which I really enjoyed.
I also have to say too, I thought the set design was really good as well.
I think everything
like in their home, they straight up are using cinder blocks to hold up shelves and stuff and everything. Like it just felt so genuine. And like when I look at, you know, their home, it's got like, you know, like nicotine stains like on the roof and on the walls and the carpets, and
it's true to the character.
Yeah, it just felt like everything was so real. Yeah. And I think that was just another great aspect of the movie as well.
Yeah. I really liked her motive. I loved seeing her battle with her inner self of saying like, oh, all people have this innate evil, but then it's like, but it's like right in your face that's not true.
Yeah.
And you're having to pull out these grasping at straws trying to get these guys to convince you that they're evil to kill them. Yeah. And I really liked her having to battle those demons within her.
I just want to make sure I heard that right. You love the motive? So you love the motive to kill people?
I like to see the
red flag.
No, the battle is what I really enjoyed seeing.
I heard motive. I heard motive is what I heard. So
they showed it effectively. You know what I mean?
I think so too. I'll build off of that in saying that like I really like the nuance that's presented with you know, us sympathizing with a serial killer.
True. Yeah.
Like we are going through this entire movie. This person has lived a crap life. They've dealt with crap situations all their lives. They killed a person out of defense, and then slowly after it starts to evolve, we're kind of just like, okay, I felt this sympathy for you, but now I'm sort of like, I'm it's slowly fading away, and I'm like, dude, why are you doing this? Like, I wanted to like you, I wanted to be root for you. You're the main character, right? You're supposed to be the protagonist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then you're doing all this trash, and you're killing people, and then it slowly turns into something that It lost its original meaning after a while. Yeah, I think maybe that's helps sort of build what you're trying to say.
For sure, yeah. She becomes the monster that the movie is highlighting.
Yeah. But other than that, what else did work for you guys? That's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Me as well.
Okay, who wins this movie?
Charlize.
We even got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Charlize, man, she freaking kills it. This is the only reason I return is to see her.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
We got any themes?
There's got to be something.
I think there's one that kind of hits on it, and it's Love Conquers All.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got a couple.
You bring up
every cloud has a silver
can move mountains.
Where there's life, there's hope.
I don't know.
This one's a hard one because it's
based
what about
on
nature versus nurture?
That's true.
She's kind of like a product of her environment almost. I mean, she goes on to say that it's she's only in her position because of circumstance.
Yeah.
And even Tom kind of goes in and says like, yeah, I'm right there with you, struggling with guilt, and there's nothing you could do. You're making the best of your situation, just like I had to do coming back from the war.
Exactly.
And they will never get it. They won't ever get it. They never did before, and they never will in the future. So we're just making do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she's really, truly a product, because from age 8, and then she started hooking at 13, she hasn't known any different. How can she give, how can she give love when she's never received it? You know what I mean? It's like, you can't tell a kid, hey, what's the Pledge of Allegiance if you've never taught them?
Exactly.
It's like she's gonna be what she's raised in.
Yeah.
And I think that, has a lot to do with people in society.
Yeah.
You can't really blame them.
Yeah.
For what the situation. I mean,
we live in a society.
We do. I mean, to bring back to Joker, to bring back freaking what's that dude's name? Morbius. What's his name though?
Michael Morbius?
No,
Jared Leto?
Yeah, Jared Leto. Freaking, We live in a society. Damaged. I hate it. But it's kind of, I mean, this really highlights that theme there.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Okay.
What did you say? K or care?
Okay.
Okay.
He said.
I just don't know if I agree
actions-
with it.
What's that freaking Vine where he goes, your actions have consequences? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That freaking squeaky kid?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying right now.
I've known people, I've experienced it a little, where my situation was messed up, and other people's situation were way worse than mine, and they didn't end up like that.
Mm.
Yeah,
I mean, you're partly true, but I don't know if I can fully agree with you.
Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to get rid of all responsibility.
No.
'cause
I
that's
get you.
definitely not true. I mean,
I get you. It's just I can't agree.
Yeah, no, I think
I love you still, but I can't agree.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Any other
But,
themes?
love over everything, you know.
All right. Love
No.
conquers all.
Love conquers all. I really don't know if I can choose a theme because it's so hard. I feel like because it's based off of a true story.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's a little hard for me.
Depravity.
Yeah.
Seeing
I think
the
I'd
world.
agree. I think I'd agree with you, Nick. All right. That's it for the themes. What are we rating this?
I am struggling to rate this.
Okay.
I wrote down a 7 or an 8.
Okay. I'm
Um,
giving it a 7.
I'm giving it a 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna give. Oh, shit.
I don't want to influence you over
No,
here.
do what you gotta do.
But
It's because I don't want to rate it. Like I feel like if I rated an 8, it's like I loved it
yeah.
and everybody should watch it. But I don't think everybody should watch this.
Mm.
But if I rated a 7, I'm like, but I really enjoyed this movie.
Well, if you're having doubts, I'd always go lower.
Yeah, one
all
lower.
right, give it a 7.
You know, this isn't like you're carving in the cement brick
Yeah.
right here. Abe gave it a 7.
Yeah.
It always changes.
Why?
Yeah.
Somebody's
You can
gonna
go back to it, love it more. Go back to it,
Exactly.
hate it.
There are things. You know how many movies I've watched before I hated it, and then I came back and I was like, wait a minute, I actually
Wait,
kinda
you're
like
like,
it.
wait, what was I
actually,
thinking?
no,
What
wait.
was I
La
thinking?
La Land for
Yeah.
me.
I can't.
I hate it. I said I hated La La Land, and I gave it a 10 on here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's just
feelings
how it works.
change. So,
Yeah, 7.
yeah. All right.
7.
Solid score regardless.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that about concludes the episode, you guys. So if you guys did stick all the way to the end, we do appreciate it. Make sure that you guys are interacting with the episodes. We do appreciate that you guys are doing so, leaving comments, likes, subscribing, so that way you guys get the videos, hitting the bell, so that way you guys know like when the videos actually drop, as well as interacting with the stuff over on the podcast apps, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, regardless of where you listen. Rating and reviewing the show, letting people know that there's something of substance here, really does help in broadening out the podcast's reach. So we do appreciate you guys doing that.
Yeah.
If you want to get in contact with us, or get in contact with the little community that we've built up, you can get all that information through our episode descriptions. We've got our Instagram as well as our Letterboxd accounts and an email. So that way, if you guys want to shoot us emails or DMs or something like that, whether that be movie recommendations, constructive criticisms, all that stuff. Those are your guys' outlets to try to reach out to us and let us know what you guys are thinking. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and pick up the next movie that we're going to be watching next week, which is Nick's pick.
It is, yeah. So we are going to be doing the 2016 film Arrival, directed by Denis Villeneuve. We love this fool. We've done
maybe like
2 or 3.
I want to say
of his
3 or
movies, I
4.
We've got Dune.
We've got Dune, Prisoners.
He's done.
Sicario.
Oh yeah, Sicario.
Oh yeah, he has done Sicario. Yeah.
So this will be our 4th one, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has all the trademark Denis Villeneuve stuff, the great soundtrack, the great, just the interesting story, and as well as like the awesome perspectives, and us feeling like tiny little ants compared to all the other stuff. But this is really a guilty pleasure for me. I wanted an excuse to watch this and to just dive back into a really interesting sci-fi.
Okay.
And this provides that. I've watched it once before and I freaking loved it. I think Amy Adams here is incredible. She freaking kills it, and I'm excited to dive back into it to explore what's all like language. It's really what it's about. It's about language and how we communicate and how we're so infinitely stupid compared to like the vast the vastness of the universe.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's one of the most unique sci-fis. I really enjoyed this one.
I'm excited. It's my first watch. So
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I've been wanting an excuse to watch it, and I remember at the time that it had come out, I had seen a lot of divisiveness between, I'd say, like the regular crowd, like on like Twitter, social media and stuff. They were like, this movie sucked, but then there was a lot of other people who were like, this movie was great, like genuinely one of the best sci-fis to come out in years.
Yeah.
And I was like so torn between,
should I watch
both
it?
both of the audience's like reactions to it, and I never got around to watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am really excited to dive in. I also there's tons of Denis Villeneuve movies that I haven't watched yet.
yeah,
I want to watch,
I feel like we'll watch
like Enemy. I really want to watch Enemy.
I've seen that one. Crazy.
There's another one that came out he did called Incendies or something like that.
I don't know.
It came out like 2010 or something.
Real quick, is that movie streaming anywhere though?
It is, yeah. So it's on Prime Video, and it's also streaming on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
So it's there to watch. I bought it at Rasputin's. I saw it and I was like, dude, I've been wanting to watch that. Like, might as well. It was $5 to buy, so I got it.
All right.
I got Paramount Plus.
It'll
You
be
got mine,
interesting. From what I remember, I think the premise is easy enough to grasp.
Who's in it? I feel like
It's got Amy
So-
Adams, Jeremy Renner, Forrest Whitaker. Who else?
We also saw Michael Stahlberg.
Yep.
He's in
is
it.
this the one that Jake Gyllenhaal's in?
No, that's Enemy.
Enemy,
with
yeah.
the big spiders.
No, I'm thinking one when he's in space in one movie.
I'm not sure.
I don't know about that.
Oh, that one movie, Life. Was that
Is it?
Remember that movie, Life?
No, that's with
Ryan Reynolds. Is it Ryan Reynolds?
No, it's your man's. It's Robert Pattinson.
No, that's The High Life.
That's
High Life.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
There's one called Life where they're
No, he's right. It's called Life. I just looked it up.
Me?
with Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like that like little like goo alien thing, and it like
Yeah.
eats people and takes over the world. Yeah.
And Jake Gyllenhaal's in that?
Yeah.
I remember
What?
seeing that
For some
in
reason, I
theaters,
got it
man.
confused. It's my fault, but
Yeah, there's tons of great actors here.
Yeah.
And-
Forrest Whitaker. I'm excited. I haven't seen a Forrest Whitaker movie in a while.
Yeah,
He
he's
kills
always kills it. Man.
he's
He
good.
puts out
He's goated.
content.
Yeah.
Quality always.
Always.
I'm excited.
And me
Sure.
too. All right, well, tune back in next week and hear what we have to say about Arrival. As always, this has been the Film Bros Podcast. Thank you guys, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.